You ever have a morning where you step outside, coffee in hand, half awake, and suddenly realize karma's about to test whether you're a yell in panic or a grit your teeth and go full detective kind of person? Because that's the kind of story I have for you. Spoiler alert. I wasn't always as calm as I'd like to pretend. If you've ever tangled with a homeowners association, you might already know how this goes. Or maybe you're one of the lucky few who doesn't have an HOA executive breathing down your neck, memorizing every crack in your driveway. Let me start from the top, just so you know who you're dealing with. I'm basically allergic to trouble. I'm the neighbor who'll pull your trash cans in when you're away and always wave but never linger too long. I follow rules sometimes to a fault, honestly, because I just want peace and quiet. So when I moved into this picture-perfect gated community about 8 months back, I thought I'd landed in the kind of place where the biggest drama would be someone's dog barking at a squirrel. Everything here is clean, like someone power washes the sidewalks clean. Lawns that look like magazine covers, houses lined up in neat rows, and an HOA that sends out those chirpy little newsletters about lawn heights and festive wreath etiquette. I didn't mind at first. Truth is, I was almost relieved to live somewhere so orderly, especially after years of, well, let's call it adventurous apartment living. But here's the thing I was most excited about. For the first time, I had a real driveway and a garage, my own little stretch of stone, and a place for my pride and joy. Now I get it, some people wouldn't look twice at a 1992 Honda Civic hatchback. But to me, that thing's basically family. 6 years ago, I bought it as a beat-up project car when my life was falling apart, and fixing it became my therapy. Every dent, every bit of paint I did myself. The engine purrs, the interior's spotless, and if you squint just right in the sunlight, the finish is better than a lot of new cars out there. The driveway's special 2 gray stone, longer than most, raised up just enough that you'd never confuse it with the public sidewalk. The realtor even bragged about it, said the last owner had it custom paved. I used to just stand there mug in hand and feel proud, like things were finally looking up. At first, life was good. I parked my Civic out there every night, kept it shining, waved to the neighbors. Some would stop and ask about the car, and I was always happy to talk shop. For months it was easy, peaceful. And then one day she showed up. You know the type, every neighborhood has one. In mine, it's a woman with a perfectly set jaw and a clipboard that seems surgically attached to her arm. The first few times I noticed her, she was just passing by. But she'd slow down when she got near my house. Sometimes she'd stop outright and stare at my car for longer than what anyone would call neighborly. The first actual conversation happened about 3 months in. I was washing the Civic, just minding my own business, and she appeared at the edge of my driveway with a smile that made the hairs on my neck stand up. Introduces herself as the HOA executive secretary, fancy, right? And immediately launches into this interrogation about my car. Where'd I get it? Is it my daily driver? How long had I owned it? But her tone. It was less enthusiast, making conversation more principle, letting you know you're in trouble even though you don't know why yet. She started slipping in these little lines about community standards and the image we all want to project. Not a single direct complaint, but her meaning was clear. Look, my Civic is in better shape than some of the luxury SUVs in this place, and they're the ones with scraped rims and stained driveways. But from then on, it became clear she had it out for me. First came the notes, slipped under my wipers, all on official-looking letterhead, all passive-aggressive. Please ensure no oil leaks, as if my car leaks a drop. Be sure not to block pedestrian sight lines, even though my car was always parked smack in the middle of my own driveway, nowhere near the street. Nobody else got notes, not the ones with oil-stained driveways, not the folks with RVs, not even the guy with a boat that's basically a floating eyesore. I tried to brush it off, but it kept escalating. One afternoon, I spotted her at the edge of my property, phone out, snapping photos of my car and driveway. When I confronted her, she just smiled and said she was inspecting for HOA compliance, which, as I found out later, she only did for my place. No one else on the street had a clue. So I installed cameras. Ring doorbell, a couple of security cams. Partly for peace of mind, partly so I'd have proof if anything happened. For a while, things settled. I let myself believe she'd finally gotten bored. Then came the night that changed everything. Picture this. I come home after work, park as usual, head inside, have dinner, set my alarm for 5 a.m. Because lucky me, I've got an early meeting with clients in another time zone. Next morning, I'm half asleep, clutching my coffee step outside. And my driveway's empty. My Civic's gone. First thought, it's been stolen. My stomach drops. I check for glass, broken locks, any sign of a break-in, but the driveway's spotless. I call the police, report it stolen. While I'm on hold, it hits me, the cameras. I scramble to pull up the footage on my phone, scrolling through the night. And there it is, just before midnight, a tow truck pulls up. And who's standing there right in the beam of the headlights, directing traffic like she owns the place? That's right, clipboard queen. She's pointing, giving the driver orders, phone out, recording like she's staging a movie. The truck loads up my car, she takes more pictures, and then just stands there grinning at my empty driveway. I called the cops back. Told them it wasn't a theft, it was an unauthorized tow, and I had the video to prove exactly who was responsible. They told me I'd need to call around, find which company took it, then try to get the story from them. So I start dialing towing companies. The dispatcher at the right place, is rude as hell, tells me my car was towed for unauthorized parking in a communal zone. I try to explain no, it was in my own driveway, but she just keeps repeating the same line. Wants a big fee before I can even see my car. I ask for a manager, get stonewalled. This is all starting to feel like a setup. So I decide to confront the executive secretary herself. I walk over to her house, she opens the door with a look that says, I won. She doesn't even let me speak before launching into a speech about visual easements, claiming anything visible from the street falls under HOA enforcement. She wants me to pay for the tow, a daily storage fee, and a fine. Oh, and I'm never allowed to park my car in the driveway again. I tried not to lose it. Told her I'd be reviewing the HOA documents. She just shrugged, warned that storage fees would keep adding up, and closed the door. Here's where the story could have ended me out, hundreds of bucks, humiliated car stuck in a lot. But honestly, the more I thought about it, the more something inside me snapped. I wasn't going to roll over. I spent that morning at the county office pulling every document I could, property plat maps, HOA bylaws, towing company contracts. Turns out my driveway is 100% on my property. No easements. The HOA rules make zero mention of visual easements. And get this, the towing company's contract with the HOA expired. Hadn't been renewed in weeks. They had no right to be operating here at all. That's when I decided to fight back. I called the towing company again, this time recording everything. When I got through to the manager, I laid it out. They'd towed my car off private property with no contract, no authorization. That's theft. I told him I'd go to the police, the state licensing board, and sue for triple damages if my car wasn't back in my driveway within the hour. No fee, no excuses. Suddenly he's stumbling over his words, says he'll check records. Calls me back, all apologetic, agreeing to deliver my car. Before I hung up, I made sure he confirmed who authorized the tow. Sure enough, executive secretary. Next step, I emailed the entire HOA board, sent them the footage, the documents, copies of the bylaws, everything. I copied my friend, who happens to be a property lawyer, just to add some legal weight. The board freaked. Within half an hour, I get a call from the towing company. They're sending my car back immediately. An hour after that, it's unloaded onto my driveway, cleaner than before. The tow driver looks like he's ready to quit on the spot. But that's not even the end. Later that day, the HOA president calls. Wants a meeting, but without the executive secretary present. When I walk into the clubhouse, it's clear everyone's on edge. They've read the documents. The president apologizes. Turns out she'd been forging signatures for months, authorizing tows without board approval. They'd all been left in the dark. If the rest of the neighborhood found out, they'd be buried in lawsuits. So I laid out my terms. She's fired, no severance. The HOA pays to detail my car. I get a year of dues waived and a written apology that makes it clear I did nothing wrong. They agree on the spot, desperate to avoid a bigger scandal. 2 days later, I'm washing my car just because I can when a moving truck pulls up at her house. She packs up, leaves for good. Neighbors swing by, thank me for standing up to her. Turns out a lot of folks had been pushed around but never fought back. Now the new board waves when they see me, asks how the Civic's running. They changed the rules so one person can't abuse their power again. They even set up an appeals process just in case. You want to know what stuck with me most? It's how close I came to giving up, just paying the ransom, letting her win, telling myself it wasn't worth the fight. But if I had, she'd still be there, finding new ways to make life miserable. Bullies like that only stop when you hold up a mirror, show them what they really look like. So now every day I park my car out front, polish it until it shines, and make sure I wave extra wide to anyone who needs to know I'm not moving. Feels good, honestly. Sometimes justice isn't flashy, it's just knowing you kept your head, used the facts, and didn't back down. And sometimes the universe delivers the karma right to your front door, moving truck and all. But I gotta ask, where do you draw the line with people like that? When is it just keeping the peace? And when is it about standing up for yourself, no matter the fallout? Ever had to take on a bully who thought the rules didn't apply to them? I'd love to hear what you'd have done in my shoes. Or if you've ever had a neighbor who made you want to go full detective, let me know. This world's got more stories than driveways, and sometimes standing your ground is the only way to find peace.